Okay, this module is going to focus on a couple different concepts and perspectives on leadership. We're particularly going to focus in on professionalism, business etiquette, and overall just how to conduct ourselves in that leadership role within the workplace. So I want to make sure here, I'm not going to play this within the context, but I really want to encourage you guys to watch this video. It's really funny, but it really gets the point across about being a leader and how to start a movement within your organization and just how to lead and a couple different aspects. So take a second, go out, watch this video. Um, and we'll start back talking about the different theories of leadership. So the first theory we're going to talk about, genetic theory. I hope that each of you would just kind of reject this one right off the top. We've talked several times how leadership is a skill, and no one is necessarily born as a leader. This theory really came about because we had generations of quote-unquote leaders that emerged from these, more prominent families like the Vanderbilts, for example. And they were just looked at as natural born leaders just because of their station in life. But overall, just hope that you guys reject this theory right out. The next one, the trait theory. The trait theory is, I have it noted here, can partially be discredited. But there is some considerable body of research out there that actually shows there are general characteristics that are displayed in different types of leaders out there. So think back to, an instructor, a coach, a boss that you may have had, and think about the traits that made them really great in that position. What kind of, were they organized? Did they communicate well? Were they responsive? Were they empathetic? What made them such a great coach, such a great boss, such a great leader? Um, and what were their characteristics and their character overall? So there's really a lot that we can say about leadership and leadership skills. But the one thing I want to point out and make sure to get across is that leadership, to be an effective leader and to strengthen your own leadership skills, it all comes down to understanding your own personal convictions. So, think about your life and what are your values and your beliefs. And those, leadership skills are going to be intrinsically tied to your character. It's all about who you are. Um, in terms of requesting feedback, a couple modules ago we talked about the 360 feedback, and this is a really great way to get your feedback as a leader. But two, just remembering, we've got to communicate the vision out there to our employees, and make sure your staff knows that you're engaged and interested in what is going on with them. Don't ever be above going out and helping them. If you're in a hospital setting, don't be above going out to help them on the floor. This is really going to work to build trust and show them that you don't consider yourself above them in any sort of the way. So we look about working to just energize your staff. You look through these characteristics, be enjoyable to work for, talk and act enthusiastically, enjoy new challenges. These all sound like great character leadership skills and attributes, right? I mean, it is. You got to be enthusiastic and you have to be optimistic. You are necessary. You are the unofficial cheerleader of, your organization, of your department, of your process change that's coming through. So you have to have that level of excitement, that level of enthusiasm, because your staff, your employees are going to be looking to you to kind of set the tone for the culture. And you have to be enjoyable to be around. Nobody, Like we said in the last module, ask yourself, am I a person that I would want to work for? So make sure you know that you're enjoyable to be around overall, and that you're too working to celebrate those small successes of your employee to kind of keep that momentum and that motivation going. So as far as the lecture, I'm going to end with this slide. There's a couple left, 2 videos that I'd like you to view after this. But out of all the character traits that we've talked about throughout this module, probably integrity is the most important trait you can possess, not just in your career, but as a person. Your integrity is everything. And when I say integrity, what comes to mind? Honesty, you're trustworthy, you follow through. I mean, those are all great characteristics of your integrity, but integrity is really who you are. Who are you as a person? And when you think about your integrity, you really need to come to a moment where you have a conversation with yourself and talk about, what's your integrity really worth? And when you compromise your integrity, it's really like chipping away at your character. You're chipping away a piece of yourself every time you compromise your integrity and compromise your values and beliefs. And this can really be detrimental, particularly in the workplace, because your staff is going to be looking to you as an example. And believe it or not, they're going to note the things you're doing, the things you're saying, or the things you're not doing or not saying, more often than you realize. As someone in that leadership role, you're constantly in the spotlight, whether you realize it or not, and people are going to be looking to you to kind of set the example and set the tone for the organization. I'll go ahead and scroll through. I want to make sure you guys watch this video on business etiquette, the basics of it, and then about putting your best foot forward, a couple of do's and don'ts within the workplace. Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at any time.